What up, what up? Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment below. I'm Tom Smoke and we're getting ripped, baby. Today's Monday and we just did a check-in on my scale, 134 pounds. And I'm definitely noticing a lot of difference in the fat density in my tummy and in my lower back. Right now I'm 16 days into my 21-day shred program and I'm going to wrap up the rest of this week pretty strong. I've meal prepped some pork tenderloin and a vegetable medley with broccoli, peppers, bell peppers, onions, and carrots. So it's a nice vegetable blend, and use the same seasoning marinade that I used the last time in my pork and just doubled up. So when I meal prepped last time, I vacuum sealed pre-portioned 8-ounce portions, and then I sealed up a bag of the marinade. So then this time I reused the same marinade and did the same thing with the pork tenderloin, and also portioned 8-ounce pieces, weighed them on the scale, and vacuum sealed them bitches up. And that way I know that I've got my stuff set up. And if you guys don't have a vacuum sealer, I'm telling you right now, that's going to be one of the easiest ways to meal prep, one of the easiest ways to keep your food fresh and keep it ready to go. Because if you're making it a week at a time, or if you're trying to keep it separate from other people's foods, it might be easiest for you to put them in vacuum sealed bags, put them in the freezer until you're ready to take them out and eat them, or just leave them in the fridge, set them off in a corner somewhere, put them in a bag or something, and you don't got to worry about, Tupperware or containers or whatever to put them in. So that's just something that I like to do, and it makes it easy for me to a do portion control, because then I can just weigh it out, chop it up, and put it in a bag, and then I seal it up so I know it's all fresh. I can put a little bit of marinade juice in there. If I want to, I can put the whole lunch together and seal it all up, and that way I've just got a one bag meal. Throw it in, and then put it in my to go container whenever I'm ready to go, take it to work or whatever. And then, it makes it simple for you if you're looking for something to eat in the fridge, if you're looking for a snack and you've got your pre portioned stuff, you already know, boom, that's a 300 calorie meal, that's a 400 calorie meal, or whatever the calorie breakdown might be. And you're going to be able to um, keep the diet dialed in a lot easier, and you're not going to be thinking about too much stuff throughout the week related to food, because your stuff's already going to be ready to go. It's going to be one, bag, and everything's going to be easy. But I was making a video just a little bit ago, and I kind of goofed up and didn't have my microphone set up the right way. But basically, what I was talking about was me really dialing in this time with this 21-day shred. I've been dieting and kind of managing my weight loss slash fat loss for the whole year, and really, um, I haven't really been doing it in a smart manner. I haven't been utilizing all the tools in my toolbox. In other words, I wasn't weighing my portions out, and I was just doing portion controls and eyeballing stuff. And although that's good, to start out and to really get close to where you want to be at, you're going to keep guessing all the way until the end. So I had to listen to the advice of some important people, and some mentors, if you will, and start doing actual weighed food portions, because this 21-day shred, I'm really going to be testing my skills, testing my willpower, and really testing out my training results, because I'm really trying to get down, lose this last bit of belly fat. And the stuff that I was doing last year, the stuff that I did earlier this year, it was good, but I really didn't lock it in. And really noticing the difference between how I feel, the results that I'm getting, and just the overall output in my training every day, and just seeing the actual results, it makes a difference. Doing it by the book, weighing stuff out, actually knowing what to put into your calorie tracker instead of just guessing. Because a lot of my food tracking. A lot of my calorie stuff is done through an app, and the stuff isn't as accurate. It's just usually for like a ballpark type stuff. So your step counter, that's going to give you a ballpark. Your exercise calorie tracker, that's going to give you a ballpark. Your calorie food counter, that's going to give you a ballpark. And you all add it all up and try to get your right numbers. And the last thing you want to do is add irregularity, inconsistency, inaccuracy, and just bad information into your serious attempt at taking control of your body. So if you started out losing weight, you're 250 pounds, 300 pounds, you were eating, a whole bunch of shit, and now you dialed in your diet, you're eating like 3 or 4 meals a day, you're probably hitting like 3,000 calories. So then you're hitting a plateau because now you're down to maintenance at 3,000 calories, and maybe, you're at like 250 or 200 or something, where you're going to have to figure out how much of that you're going to have to lose, as far as in your diet, to get those results over time. And if you're not meticulous with it, if you're not actually putting it on paper, writing out values for the food, the weight, the calories, the protein, the fats, the carbs, all the macros, you're really not going to be able to get the results dialed in like you want to. And there are some people that can get 3 month transformations. There's people that can get 6 months transformations. For me, it's been a slow process, but it's been a positive trend. And there were several points where I made big dents in my weight loss. And for me personally, I dieted down until I felt a real strong diet fatigue. And then I came back out a little bit. While I was out of the diet, the cut diet, I was able to kind of dabble around, eat more fast food, eat donuts and cakes and candies and stuff, and just kind of, relax a little bit, but keep in the mindset that I'm still in the diet. I can't let myself go. I'm still training. I'm still doing all the other boxes are getting checked, but because I'm not, in a diet cut phase right now, I have to be more mindful about what I'm eating so that I don't gain too much. Because certainly, if you're in a gain phase, it can be very easy to overdo the calories. It could be easy to overreach, so to speak. And then now you have to catch up on fat loss, or maybe you built too much fat instead of muscle. And there's other ways scientifically that you can go about doing that in the most optimal way. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to do things for me personally. And what I've learned this time around, I am implementing all the tools that I have, weighing out my food, tracking everything as best I can, minimizing my intense cardio, maximizing my strength lifting at the gym, even though, feeling weak, I'm not going down in weight. I'm maintaining my strength at the level that I'm at while I'm losing body fat. And it's working. It's working, and I feel good. I'm excited to wrap up this week, and I'm optimistic that even if I don't get to the exact spot that I want to by the end of next week, I could probably do this for another week, and I'd be willing to place a bet that I'll be there within 28 days. I mean, it don't take long, really, when you start to get into the ketosis type of, burning fat with a high protein, carbohydrate, vegetable diet with minimal fats and minimal additional carbohydrates like pasta, rice, potatoes, stuff like that. Now, obviously, you can have that stuff, but as far as the protein sparing, modified fast, rapid fat loss diet that I'm doing, that is the method. And it's basically ketosis, just like Brandon Carter says. But you got to keep your calories down to a minimum because they're basically talking about the same thing. You want to eat whole foods, meat, fruits, vegetables, but you basically want to keep your proteins right at about a gram per pound, and keep your carbohydrates and your fats rock bottom. And you're going to be needing to supplement probably with salt and electrolytes. You're probably going to need to be supplementing with fatty acid, supplements like fish oil, EFA, fatty acid 369, omega 369 type stuff. And there's a lot of keto fog that goes into it, but you got to do what works for you. And this is what I'm doing right now. And I'm just documenting what kind of results I'm getting. Because right now, I just woke up. It's day 16. Yesterday we did yoga. It's week 8 in the p90x. We're doing recovery week all week. And it's awesome. We get heavy workout weeks, and then they give you recovery weeks throughout the whole process. And after this week, we're going to be doing phase 3, which is the final phase of the 13-week program. So if you're joining me for the whole thing, you should be proud of yourself. I'm proud of myself. Last year I started doing 30-minute workouts, and I did that for the whole year. And I had a commitment in January that 30 minutes, I had that much time to invest in my own health, to invest in my own future, to try to be there for my kids and my wife and myself. I got 30 minutes to put on the books for me to invest in myself. And after 12 months of putting in the work, I was ready to go to the next level, because the work I was putting in was good, but it just wasn't enough for what I wanted to get done. I got bad shoulder muscle issues. I got thoracic rib issues, intercostal muscles issues. I got issues with my tricep, my bicep. I've got some muscle issues, and I'm working with my physical therapist and occupational therapist, primary care doctor, massage therapy, all these other professionals, and we're working together, the chiropractor, in order to get me hopefully fully healed. And it's taken a while. I've had a lot of stonewalling from other professionals and doctors that are trying to tell me that I'm old, that I need to stop working out, that I need to just take some Advil because I got arthritis and that's why my shoulder is messed up. And that's just a sign of the times. Just get used to it. Get used to it, Tom. You old man. You ain't a young guy no more. You're working out too much. 7 days. That's 7 days. That's a lot of exercising, brother. What are you trying to do, man? You Superman? You trying to get ready for something? You going to war? What's the deal? Why you working out so much? But the thing is, those guys want me sick. Those guys don't want me healthy. They want me to keep coming back, because that's how they get paid. That's their job. If they make everybody better, they're going to be homeless because they're not going to have a job. So when you think about that and think about the other videos on YouTube where you get conflicting information, because I was just watching a video about Southpaw Honcho today about that. Shout out Southpaw Honcho. Hell yeah, doing the thing. He knows what I'm talking about. There's people on YouTube that are giving both sides of the story. There's magazines giving both sides of the stories, keeping people confused, keeping people stuck, because there's no money in telling you, yeah, you got to eat some meat, some vegetables, and you got to go to the gym, 4 or 5 times a week. Like, there's always got to be a cheat code. There's always got to be some kind of trick. There's always got to be some kind of new, way to do it that nobody's ever heard about. Some trick, some secret, some magic, hocus pocus. But the fact of the matter is, it's just consistency and diligence. Just like in PE class when we was in school, and I don't know who all is watching this, the age of the demographic, but I'm 43. We had PE every day. We were running around at recess. We had tetherball, dodgeball. We were playing basketball, running around on the track, playing, kickball, all that stuff. We were all physically active, and now the kids aren't so physically active. So they're teaching them different lessons than what we got taught when we were in school. So I don't know what the psychology of a young person is nowadays, but if you're stuck in the trap and you're watching these YouTube videos and it's like, well, if I do this, I'm working out too much. If I'm doing this, I'm not working out enough. If I'm eating this, there's all these things that are going to keep you from acting. But you need to just figure out one of those things and just start doing it, because maybe it doesn't work, but at least you're doing something, and you could try something else later on. But if you start going out for 30 minutes, just like me, getting your feet wet, when I was first really fed up and being fat, I went to the local gym close to my work because I wanted to go after work, because if I went before work, I had an excuse, oh, I got to go to work. I can't work out. So if I went after work, then I can say, okay, there's a barrier between my house and it's called the gym. I got to pass through that barrier to make it to my house. It's an obstacle. I have to go through it. So I didn't go every day. Trust me, I didn't go every day. And my job has a kickback program. So if you go 7 times a month, 7 times in a month, that's only 2 times, a couple of times a week, and then one more time, they will reimburse you for the gym membership. So I was like, all right, cool, cool. So I did that. I went to the gym. I swiped a badge. I left. So I'd go back, swipe the badge, leave. And eventually, after swiping the badge, I went in and walked around and kind of looked. And, I didn't know where the fuck to start. I'm 215 pounds, way out of shape. I'm smoking cigarettes. I'm drinking beer, drinking, chocolate milk and coffees and donuts and cakes and fast food, and just like, I'm a fucking mess. Where do I start? So I found the treadmill off in the corner behind a wall, and I started walking. And then another time I did the stairs, and I'd usually walk for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, because I didn't want to do too much, because, I was a fat ass. I just wanted to get in and get out and just, you know, get familiar with the gym again, get my feet wet. And that didn't really work out very good. I showed up, walked, I did the Stairmaster, I left. There was one time I remember I tried lifting, I tried doing some bicep curls with some 20-pound dumbbells. It might have even been 25 pounds. I couldn't remember. But it was very difficult to do the curls. My arm hurt, and I think I did like 3 of them, and it cooked my arm. It was fucked up for like 2 days afterwards, and I was embarrassed about it, and it made me start thinking, like, where do I start? Do I got to get a personal trainer now? Do I got to go do a class? Do I have to, like, where do I start working out? I don't know. I don't know. Do I get a fitness magazine? Do I go check out a library book? How do I get started? So then I started looking at YouTube. I'd already been looking at YouTube, trying to get motivated, trying to get my mindset, right, trying to, get over the fence. Because, when you're that big, when you're having health issues, when you're feeling it, you're aching when you're laying in bed because your body hurts. You can't bend over and tie your shoe. You have to sit down to tie your shoe. Like, there's all kinds of stuff that goes into it. You just start to think and plan, like, how did I get here? How am I gonna fix this? So, like, after doing, a bunch of video watching and doing, walking and just trying to motivate myself to take the next step, whatever that was going to be, whether it was going to be get a coach, go to the library, just buy a program, whatever. Like, I had to do it. I had to act. So racking my brain, thinking about what options I had. I remembered I had the p90x because I had been thinking about that. I did it a couple years ago. I didn't finish it, but I started it and was like, all right, trying this again. I think I did like 6 weeks the last time, and yeah, it was cool. It was cool. It was good. So then I start looking online. I'm looking up the calendar. I come across Beachbody and the P90X3. Now, the P90X3 I haven't ever heard about. So I actually found out about the P90X2. which I never heard about that. And if nobody watching this video has heard about the P90X, it's a home fitness program that's a DVD based home fitness program from a pretty well known company called Beachbody. And a fella named Tony Horton is the designer of a lot of other fitness programs. And this one actually came about as an athletic uh, form of a home fitness program, more of an elite program. Because there was another program called the P90, the Power 90, which basically gives you strength training, and it's a power lifting program for 90 days. Now, I haven't ever looked into it. I don't even know if that's an accurate description of what the program is, but the P90 is the OG. It is the genesis of the P90X. So then the P90X program came out in 2005, and that's when I found out about it. I found out about it in mid 2000s, like 2006, 2007. And I had a homie who had a copy. I was going to the gym all the time. I had other homies that were going to the gym. And one of my other guys was into home fitness. So he was watching QVC, saw the infomercial. Boom, he got that shit sent to his house. So I tried it. I liked it. At the time, I had actually been planning on moving away, actually back to Indiana. So I got me a copy, moved to Indiana, and I did it for like 6, 7 weeks and tapped out. I was too busy living life, having fun. I didn't feel like working out, whatever. So everybody's got the same story. So fast forward to now, P90, P90X. Found out about the P90X3, and I was thinking, oh shit, P90X3. I haven't heard of that. What is it? That's new. So it's a 30-minute program, and it's designed for busy, executives and just people in general that are too busy for a full hour program, or that just don't have enough time for 45 minutes, hour workout, a 30-minute workout, or a modified time throughout the week for working out. 30-minute workout from start to finish. It's awesome. So I bought a copy. I got it for $30 at a used video store. Best money I ever spent. That shit changed my life. I promise you. If you are out of shape and you need to start doing something, fuck with the P90X3. Do the 30-minute workout for a whole year. Do the 30-minute workout for 12 months. 52 weeks of 30-minute workouts. That's all you got to do. It's like taking a nap. 30 minutes. That's it. If you can do that, if you can commit to 30 minutes every day, you will be physically fit. Your hips will be wide open. Your knees will feel better. Your back's going to feel better. Your shoulders and your elbows, your wrists are going to feel better. If you sit all day at a desk job and your hips are in the same position, your arms and elbows are in the same position, hell, your head and your neck is in the same position, you are going to need to do something to take care of your body, because you're going to have stiff joints. You're going to have a bad hips, bad knees. All that stuff's going to catch up to you. But you do the 30-minute workout. You don't even have to lock in the diet. You want to lose fat, you lock in the diet. Then we're talking about a whole nother thing. But you do the 30 minutes and you can get in shape. You can change your life and get fit. Now, if you want to lose fat, you got to lock in the diet. That's something totally different. But if you do them both together, you can see amazing results. And in just 2 years, really about 20 months of solid training every day, I've been able to transform my physique. And I started out in 2024, but I hurt myself and I had to take 5 months off. But I was dieting that whole year. And I went from 176 or whatever, something like that, in March. And I was down to 155 at the end of the year, after Christmas, after Thanksgiving, after all that shit, and without working out. But I didn't have a bunch of goofy shit. I wasn't eating cakes. I wasn't eating donuts. I wasn't eating chocolate milk and eggnogs and frappuccinos and other bullshit. Pizzas, none of that stuff. While I wasn't working out, I maintained a very strict diet. And then when I started working out again, that's when I was able to cut down to 130 pounds. That's when I was able to get, back up to 150, get down to 130, and kind of float 140, 135, thereabouts. This morning I clocked in at 134. I got 5 more days left of this diet, and I should be there, ready to maintain for the rest of the year. Hell, I might be able to maintain and gain for a couple years, as long as I don't eat like an asshole and have an extra 2,000 calories a day. It's possible. But I have to be mindful. I have to maintain, my mindset and my alignment. And that's the important thing about being in your 40s. You have to be able to take care of yourself. You have to represent that you can take care of your family. And if you're walking around, your tummy's spilling out over your belt, you can't even see your dick, you're probably not respected among a lot of people. So you got to take care of yourself, fellas, because when you're on life support in 40 years and 30 years or whatever, ain't nobody going to be to blame but you. Stop drinking alcohol, stop smoking the cigarettes, stop eating the fast food and the cakes and the sodas and all that other bullshit, because it's going to catch up to you and you're going to end up having to pay. You don't want to be that guy with high cholesterol, high blood pressure, emphysema, uh, cirrhosis, like kidney failure, liver failure, bad hips, bad knees, bad back. I mean, half of the muscular shit and joint shit can be preventable because motherfuckers ain't moving around. So start moving. Do 30 minutes. And if you're already doing a good job, we're 49 days into the 90-day challenge. Matter of fact, today's day 50 of the 90-day challenge. So that means we only got like 40 days left. That's like only a month and some change. 6 weeks. That's it. We got week 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. And that's a wrap. Where you been at? I've been here getting ripped every day. Midnight. That's when I'm doing my training. Sleepy Time Fitness. Because I get it in before I get to bed. Because I got to get ripped before I get to sleep. Hell yeah, baby. You know what I'm talking about. Oh, look at that shit. Look at that shit right there. Hairy belly, 6 packs of steel. You can see my chest muscles. But stick around and find out how I do. If you're curious about the diet, join the link in the Discord and ask me how. We can see about getting you hooked up with meal prep ideas, meal plans, and coaching. Book a strategy call. One-on-one coaching is available. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. Follow me on TikTok at Tom Smoke Fitness. Check out my other videos for training, diet progress, tips, advice, and experience. I used to be fat and now I'm fit. I got lean and I got ripped. And now I'm getting shredded. Doing a 1-hour p90x. Home fitness program, baby. Anybody can do it. You just got to do it. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. You got the eye of the tiger, the heart of the lion, and the hunger of the wolf. You got what it takes to be a commander and command respect, huh? Prove it. Do the 90-day challenge. It's out there. Just take it. Just do it. And you can get results just like me. Hell yeah, you can. You just got to believe in yourself and believe in the process. Because it only works if you do. If you ain't putting in the work, you ain't going to put out no effort and no results. Because you get in what you put out. Well, you get out what you put in. So there. You already know what I'm talking about. But if you show up every day and you put in 10% effort, you're going to get out more results than you ever would if you were showing up 10% of the time and giving 90%. So I'll see you next time. Hell yeah, I'm getting shredded. Are you? Let's do it.